Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Silicon Nubian YouTube channel where we're all about things tech. If you've been following the videos I've been making on this channel, in particular for the Linux reviews, you'll know that I have mentioned more than once that I am a Manjaro Linux user. Now that being said, Manjaro has been very good to me, but there are only a certain number of Manjaro editions that are what we call quote-unquote official, XFCE, KDE, and GNOME. There are some community spins of Manjaro as well, where users have gone through the lengths to actually produce these versions with different GUI interfaces. Today I'm going to take a really quick look at the LXDE community release of Manjaro 17.05. So here we are, post-installation at the login screen. Very nice screen. I like the way it looks. This is the default after install, and we'll log in. Manjaro being an Arch Linux-based derivative, in my humble opinion, it and Chakra are probably the best, presently at least, the best examples of those spins off of Arch Linux. So here's the desktop. I have, as usual with all my reviews and my quick looks, have done the updates. So at the time of this review and video, the operating system is completely up to date. And we have the welcome Manjaro screen as per usual. We have some of the release info. We can change different languages if we want. We go back to the main screen, forums, chat room, pretty much like in all the other Manjaro. GNOME, I believe, that I had taken a quick look at a couple weeks back. So launch at start. So let's get out of here. Let's look at it. LXDE. The wonderful thing about LXDE, it's one of the lighter GUI environments, right up there with XFCE. In fact, I would probably state that LXDE is even lighter on system resources than XFCE. Now, in the past, in particular with higher end machines, people would go for the heavier GUI interfaces such as GNOME or KDE. But I have found that as time has passed, the quality and the flexibility of the lower system resource or power hungry GUIs like LXDE and XFCE have come up very strong, to the point where to get the maximum out of my hardware, I usually run XFCE. LXDE is one of those that have come up very strong as well. And let's just take a look at this community spin on Manjaro. Right clicking on the desktop, we can right away go to the desktop preferences, font color and whatnot, background, wallpaper mode and whatnot, stretch. You know, the usual things, desktop icons, show connected volumes, if we want to or not. We have advanced, use my desktop as a folder, show menus provided by Window Manager when desktop is clicked. We can see that it's done in real time, which I like. Close. Let's go down to the toolbar. Here we have the power if we want to shut down, reboot, switch user, and whatnot. You can get out of there. We have screen lock, which will lock the screen and basically put you in a mode where you have to again log in to get access. We have the clock. Right, just clicking on the clock, we have the calendar. Right clicking, we have options, digital clock settings, remove digital clock, panel settings, and whatnot. Create a new panel. Here we have the sound, where we have the volume control. See how it pops up on the right there, so we can have a visual as to what we're doing. Very good. Right clicking, again, volume control settings, mixer settings, and we'll get into that. We can launch the mixer from here, output devices, input devices, playback and recording and whatnot. If you quickly poke around, you'll see that there are a lot of parallels between LXDE and XFCE. Now here, we have the kernels, we have options. This is the kernel notifications, check unsupported kernels, only notify LTS kernels, only notify recommended kernels. And this is all the default settings, by the way. Here we have the package manager. Hovering around it will say that our system is up to date. We can start our package manager, PacMac. It's categorized, as we can see all of that. Here is PacMac version 6.03-3. Basically just a GTK or graphic front end for Pac-Man. And we have a lot of different things here, accessories, audio, video. Just click on one of them. And double click will give you a little blurb on it. And we can always highlight it and then we can install it. Very simple. We can go to groups. Here we are, a little bit more detailed. Repositories. So we have a few that are mentioned. There's a lot of repositories here we can choose from. We have installed applications, so it makes it easy to uninstall. Just uncheck that and away you go. We have updates. System is up to date. And then we have settings. We can refresh the database, install local packages if you downloaded the package separately from the installer. And we have preferences. In here we have the usual preferences we have for PacMac. It doesn't change really much. The look may change, but the functionality is pretty much identical, irrespective of what GUI interface you are using. Hide tray icon when node update is available. I like to leave the tray icon right there. Remove unrequired dependencies, check available disk space, whatnot. Here we have the official repositories, and the sorting is included right away. There was a time in Arch that was a separate thing you had to deal with. Now PacMac does it itself. Use mirrors from worldwide. The AUR is here. So we have the Arch user repository, which I always enable. Use with caution, but I have found that in particular for printer drivers, for the printers that I have owned, the AUR has been the saving grace for me. And here we have cache, remove only versions of uninstalled packages and whatnot to keep your system clean. Okay, here we have the documents folder. It's not your home folder, it's the documents folder only. Of course, you can go back to home and you'll see that documents, downloads, music, pictures, public, templates, and videos are the pre-configured folders for you, including desktop. And we can look PC Man FM 1.2.5. This is different from the file manager. It's different in LXDE release from the ones that are used, for example, Thunar in XFCE. Still a very capable file manager, quite simple, but still very capable. You can run commands in folders. We can do a lot of different things. So it's very capable and something that I would keep. Here we have the trash. Of course, trash is just a folder as per Windows and other operating systems. Let's look at when we right click on an empty part of the toolbar, we have taskbar, list settings, add, remove panels, panel settings. Of course, we can come up bottom, left, right, whichever we want, and get the appearance with themes. And we can include different panel applets. For example, application launch bar, minimize Windows separator and whatnot, digital clock. We can add these things if we want. File manager tells you what's the default file manager, what's the default terminal emulator. In this case, it's LX terminal, the LXDE terminal, and whatnot. So here we have the terminal. After updates, we are running the Linux 4.9.53-1 kernel. Very up to date. Very good kernel, so a lot of your things will work right out of the box, your hardware and whatnot. Again, we have file manager, and we've already looked at that, so we're good with that. Here we have to clear all your windows, and let's go to the program menu. Very similar to a lot of other distributions and operating systems that we've seen. Let's run down what's installed by default really quickly. We'll go to accessories. We have like a disk viewer. We can view what's on our disks and see what's taking up space and whatnot. We can see how it's partitioned and whatnot. We can also, accessories, we have some software I'm not familiar with, but knowing Linux and knowing this Manjaro, these are very capable. So we have an archive manager right here, which is something that's indispensable. The name and grandpa, interesting name. Calculator, HP device manager, image viewer. So here we have typical image viewer. Gpic view 0.2.5. With LXDE, there are a lot of the applications that are bundled with it are extremely light yet very capable, light on resources. LeafPad, this text editor, Manjaro user's guide, and XF Burn. And accessories education, LibreOffice math, graphics. Of course, we have GIMP, LibreOffice Draw, Simple Scan, Internet, Vahi, server browser, of course, Firefox, which is the default web browser, which is a very good choice, of course. If we go to, just want to show you quickly how to get at some of the community spins from the Manjaro site itself. If you go to download, you can either go download, go straight to community releases, and you'll get to that right away, as you can see right here, or development releases. But if you go to the download page, you'll see that XFCE, KDE, and GNOME are the 3 official versions. There's also Manjaro Architect ISO, which is basically a net installer, which will, I'll probably do a video on how to use that to get a system that's both perfectly up to date, up to the moment that you install it, and also you can customize it a little bit more. So we'll move up here. To get to the community editions, you'll go to community editions right here, link, and you'll see the spins for it. Budgie, Cinnamon, Deepin, i3, which I'm not familiar with, which I'd like to take a look at, LXDE, the one we're looking at right now, LXQT, Calmaris Net Install, Mate. So there's a few good spins out here, and all of them seem to be based on the latest 17.05 release, which makes sense because they're all rolling releases. And by the way, in order to install any of these spins, or I should say any of these GUI interfaces, it's very, very easy to do. I might also make a video on how to do that. So let's continue. So we have HexChat, Thunderbird, default email client, transmission, graphic file transfer, Office. We can see that we have the full LibreOffice suite installed, which I always like. Mind you, it's version 5.4.1.2.0 plus, so pretty up to date. Again, it's very easy to get it post-install, but just the fact that it's there gets a few more ticks up in my, what I like to call my out-of-box experience score, which Manjaro has very much so. So LibreOffice, PDF viewer, and that's pretty good right there. So sound and video, we have a camera viewer, web camera viewer, pulse audio volume control, Qt4 test utility, Vlc Media Player, which basically plays everything in XF Burn. So we have everything we need to play most media files. VLC is basically a one tool does all kind of utility. Again, it's easy to add software if you want to. System tools now, we'll go to, we have a Vahi Zero Config Browser, File Manager, Pacman FM, PCman FM, sorry, Gparted is included, HTOP, LX Terminal, Manage Printing, and here they go straight to the CUPS interface, so that's how printing is managed using the CUPS interface. At least one choice of managing printing, there are others. System tools, Manjaro Hello, which is the welcome screen with all the options on it. And we'll go to the task manager. We can see that memory 692 megabytes are used out of 3956. I can tell you that upon booting into Manjaro and letting the desktop settle down, I was using about half of that. At 330 or so odd megabytes were being used, but we've clicked on a few things, we've done a few things, so there is some stuff that's active right now. All in all, considering there's 4 gigs of RAM allotted in this particular machine, that's pretty good. And if we take a quick look, Pulse Audio is using probably the most, which is that's very unusual. That being said, CPU usage is at 0%, pretty light. System tools as well. We have HTOP here. We can see easily we can go to and manage, kill processes if necessary and whatnot. See what's really running on the system. Okay, let's go to preferences now. here we have add remove software. Again, we go to PacMac where we can add and remove anything we want. If you go to internet, for example, Chromium browser is here. There's a unofficial Facebook Messenger app. There's a lot of, in each category, for example, just in internet, you can see what's available. There's so much available. And it tells you what repository it's coming from. Remember that if I go to preferences, we did enable the AUR, so we have a lot more software available to us than what's even listed here. Office, we have a lot of different ones. IBWord, which is actually pretty good, very good. Calligra, of course, and a lot of other different things here. We have so much. System tools, graphics, education, settings, D3, 3D acceleration. We have a lot of different things here, folks. I mean, this is incredible. I just love, we can install the Cinnamon desktop. We can do a lot of different things, system tools, and the community is very good. The Arch community is extremely responsive, and in my opinion, one of the best out there. So there we go for that. We have Bluetooth Manager, customized look and feel. Change different things depending on what style we're running. So we get out of that. Default applications for LX Session. So what's your default? File Manager, Terminal Manager, Email, and whatnot. Communication 1, Widget 1, Launch Manager. You can even have different launch managers. So we can choose to auto start or not the application. So we go back into preferences again. Desktop preferences, we've already seen. Desktop session settings. Do you want secret storage service? You want Power Manager, Manjaro, volume, pulse audio system, network. We can these are the system services that'll run at boot up, and we can change them depending on our desktop session. We have the firewall configuration, very simple. Firewall configuration, GUFW firewall version 17.10. So we can get to that and we can put the status on and we can make rules and whatnot. Very simple. Keyboard, mouse, light DM, LXDE notifications. We can do not disturb mode, show which kind of notifications would show up and whatnot. Manage that. Manjaro notifier, Manjaro settings manager. I find the Manjaro settings manager doesn't really have a lot in it. Local settings, kernel settings, user accounts, time and date, hardware configuration for finding hardware you may have that needs proprietary drivers and whatnot. User accounts, time and date. As we go down, notifier settings, monitor settings, network connections, open box configuration manager, power manager, and whatnot. So we also have software update, which just basically runs PacMac in the opens up the update tab and checks if there are any updates available. Again, everything that you may need here is here. LXDE is a little cut down. You don't have a few. Some people would consider them creature comforts in more complex and of course larger in size and system resources. Other interfaces like GNOME or KDE, of course. Probably one of the heaviest that I like is Cinnamon. I really do like Cinnamon. I always do recommend though that if you do install any Linux distribution, that it's good to have more than one GUI installed in case something goes wrong, which is rare, very rare, but I just found it's a positive thing. And also, you know, depending on your mood, you may feel like running a more fully featured or customizable GUI like GNOME or KDE over LXDE. But I found that after I settled down to business, running XFCE or even LXDE is fine for me. Also Cinnamon. So that's a quick look at the community spin Manjaro LXDE. It is, after all, Manjaro, and by definition, Arch Linux. It is a wonderful distribution, something I like very much. Does everything I need to do. Very well. Okay, here we can see we shut down Firefox, and now we're at 395 megabytes being used. So that's pretty low. And great for older machines. Those P4s are Core 2 Duo chips. We're running the 64-bit version. Let me check. I'm not certain if there is a 32-bit version of this available. I will double check right now. So we'll go straight to community releases, and we can see LXDE. There are x86 is available. Here we are, x86 and 686. So we do have versions available to match all kinds of computers, old and new. And this is a definitely a worthwhile Linux distribution, in particular if you're on a machine that's a little starved for performance, or if you're on a higher end machine and you want to squeeze every bit of performance out of it, and you can deal with the LXDE or even XFCE interface, or the LXDE in this case. I think it's a winner all around. It is my daily driver Manjaro, and I haven't found a bad release yet. Just wanted to touch base and give you guys a look at the LXDE release. So that's it for this video. If you like what you see, please give me a thumbs up. If you have any comments, please be free to put them down. We'll be looking at a few more Linux distributions, and very soon it's coming. I've been talking about it. We do have a build of my Linux machine, my main machine for actually getting work done in my office, which is based on a AMD Ryzen 5 1600X CPU, and it's going to be an ITX build. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm going to bring you guys and ladies and gals and guys with me as I make a video about it. So thanks for watching, and check us out at the PC Construction Zone for those who like to build and modify computers. We also have technology and computer enthusiasts as well. You can check out our business end of things at Silicon Nubian, and those links are below, as well as the links to Manjaro, where you can download and check this out. This beautiful rolling release, by the way, which is what I love, rolling release distribution. So take care, and thanks for watching.